Story time. Yeah, I'm getting sick. Fuck's sake. Back when I was in final year of my university a couple of years ago there, me, my friends, and this guy who I'm going to name Jack, we're all going out for Freshers Week. Basically, a week where you can party your ass off and drink like fuck because you're about to be thrown into a whole pile of university shit that you don't particularly want to deal with. He had a huge crush on me. But he had asked me out multiple times. I didn't trust him. I didn't want to date him. And to me, he wasn't likeable in that way. So we went out with my friends, and I remember I turned around to Jack and my friends and I was just like, I give you guys permission to get me drunk, but not that kind of drunk, just, you know, the nice buzz. Pretty much all that night I hung out with Jack. And my friends, they went off home, they were tired and stuff. Jack kept supplying me double vodka and cokes. And at the time, I was lightweight, so I mean, I just got wasted. I got so wasted. I literally got so drunk that I can't remember half of that night. That's kind of where the scary part really kicks in for me, because I've never been so drunk to the point where I've forgotten most of the night. Like, I was shit-faced. Basically, I was absolutely shit-faced. It was great. The club was fun. I remember having fun and dancing my cares away in my drunken state for that night, and I remember Jack being there. And then we went home. He got me back to my flat. We lived opposite each other in student halls. So he was actually in a flat sort of across the way. Of course, you know, my roommates stayed up and they were waiting for me, which was, you know, absolutely lovely for them. And I remember going into my bedroom, took off my tights and unzipped this dress. I had a dress on that had a zipper down the front. So if you unzipped it enough, my bra and my boobs were coming out basically. And I got my tights off and I got my zipper down so my boobs are out, and I vaguely remember Jack being there, and I just sort of fell on the bed, and that's it. That's all I can remember. Only one other thing I can remember is being sick in a bucket, and like I was literally lying on my bed with half my body off to the side and my head physically in a bucket. What I don't really remember, and definitely did not know at the time, what Jack had done. He had crawled into bed with me, you know, by small, single, student bed, despite the fact Jack lived 3 seconds away. Jack crawled into bed with me while I was blacked out, inebriated drunkenness. I don't think he would have done anything, and you know, nothing was touched. My knickers were still on me, my dress was still on me, I'd taken my tights off myself, I remember that. Only way I know this is because when I woke up in the morning, he wasn't actually there. Jack had already left, and I just kind of stumbled into the living room, our common room. My roommates had said to me, "Oh, by the way, Tasha, what time did Jack go home this morning at?" What? You know, I originally thought, no way, they're imagining things, but like, I know my roommates, they would not have said anything like that, even as a joke. And when I next saw Jack, which was later on that day, I think, and I just sort of was like, "Oh, by the way, Jack, what time did you go home at?" And he was just like, "Oh, I left at 6 in the morning, so I did." Okay. He slept in my bed with me while I was completely blacked out, and yet while his own flat was like 3 seconds away, our sofa was like 1 second away. It really didn't take that long to get to either the sofa or his flat. So I mean, a lot of my friends, especially the friends I've had for years now, They agree with me. It is so fucking creepy. Like, all my guy friends, they agree. It is really, really creepy and not right. There have been a couple of my friends who I explained this story to, and they're just like, oh, but he was just being a gentleman, Tasha. I'm sorry, but on what universe is crawling into bed with a drunk, blacked out, vulnerable woman considered gentlemanly? He was not being a gentleman. He was not even being a friend, I don't think. If you're ever taking anyone who's drunk home and they are not your partner, they are not your boyfriend or your girlfriend or whatever, put them to bed. You leave a bucket beside their bed, you leave a glass of water on their bedside, maybe a paracetamol, and you know what you do next? You leave them alone. If you're staying the night, you go sleep on the sofa. If you live nearby, you go to fuck home. That's what you do. Jack, why the fuck you so fucking creepy? With your pedo beard.